Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is Ball Breakdown in the Green Room. I'm Precinct Officer 50 Kashaka Wall. In the building today, y'all, we got Precinct Officer 5000 Kawoga Ball. My camp leader, man. Let's give him a hand, man, for showing up, man. Give a Lord his, of course, first and foremost. Hey, man, listen, man. We got a banger for y'all this week, man. We got Precinct Officer Kawoga Ball in the building, my camp leader, and it's an honor to present his song, you know, because I'm black. This has been Israel's anthem for a long while right now, and I feel that we need to do this breakdown on this song. And of course, it wouldn't be right if we didn't have him in the building. I got Precinct Officer 50 Kashaka, Ayash Allah in the building, and then listen, I got Goya Allah in the building, who's gonna be reading the scripts, man. And we're gonna go hard like we normally do. You got something to say, sir? Hey, listen, y'all know how we do. We started off and we play the song going through. After we play the song through, and then we're going to start breaking down. But before we do such things, listen, we had a great time at the Lord's 54th Passover. Let's give Commander General Yohana a hand. Hey, man, listen, it was glorious. Hey, all you brothers out there, man, it was a pleasure to be out there with you brothers and you sisters. It was a great time. And shout out to all the other shows. What's it? Black Watch, Rooted Speech, Cross the Line. Let It Be Known, Let It Hebrew Speak. That's man, right. Listen, we got so many shows, man. Support your brothers, man. Support your brothers. Watch the shows, man. Promote the shows. Like, share, comment. Always. And listen, you can always comment. If you love the song, give it a 5. If you think it's an absolute great song and it vibes with you. But if you don't like the song, put a 1 in the chat. And if you got any songs that you think we should put on Ball Breakdown, put it in the chat. And share it with us, man. Listen, we like to bring the music to the people, man, and let the people decide what it is. And then without further ado, we're gonna get into Ball Breakdown in the Green Room. Start it up.
Cops won't kill me because I'm black. Cops won't kill me because I'm black. Can't get a job because I'm black. She won't hurt me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops won't kill me because I'm black. Cops won't kill me because I'm black. Can't get a job because I'm black. She won't fuck me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. I can't fight the cops in the hospital. Block said you don't like cops. By the current tucked in the stop. They say help the ones I love. You just on the block for the world. If you from my side, then it's love. When it big nuts, busting up the jeans, bro. We was hurting on my family. But I think crack kid just like me. Really nigga from the concrete. Never white man, don't sand. So we eat like a trash can. People ride by. Understand a hand, cause it don't miss the average black man. So for him, that's why I got a nigga ain't talking rap. Before the slave ships, I'm one of a kind. I can't take it. I can never leave my spot picking. Cause I'm black, I see crowns and I take it. Cause I'm black, I never been in no spaceship. I know you a phone when I see it. I know that this gonna come when I need it. I can fake it. God, I'm talking to you. I don't play that shit. Trust me when you say it's one girl because I'm black. I won't kill me because I'm black. Can't get a job because I'm black. She won't hurt me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops won't kill me because I'm black. I won't kill me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She won't hurt me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Wanna flip things because I'm black. Know about Simmons because I'm black. Yeah, in the hood, we was strapped 10 toes down, we wearing sacks. So you like we're black, and you gotta guess when I'm at. I be with the police chilling hard, right on Malcolm X Boulevard. TV niggas, you the stars. Everything about my life is hard. But I never fold, play my cards. You want beef? What's the cause? Watch your mouth, I hit hard. Back up for the new goals. Everything we say, man, pause. You move our neighbors within the laws, and I've been involved. It's beneficial. Ask the enemy, I've been official. And I'm a weed, I've been beneficial. Homie, I understand what it's for. And the press and slave notes. But the Bible is a cheat code. Foreign points don't need those. Motherhood is life's cheat code. My job's no good because I'm black. I won't kill me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She won't hurt me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops won't kill me because I'm black. I won't kill me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She won't hurt me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. I don't gotta buy J's cause I'm black. I don't put 2 pages cause I'm black. For my whole life cause I'm black. But I left his out blowing black. Ain't got a trap cause I'm black. Ain't got not one face tat. I'm still getting profile, cause I think these crackers profile. So I be there with the truck stand, man, he sweats with the content. So they know they can't bother him, so they go to jail, sell hustle him. If you touch him, if you cuff him, cause I'm a law keeper, a peace breaker, no drink with me, a peace breaker. Deuce in the street sweeper, cuss flip, cuss and shit. But then I apply my icy voice, that shows on my chest, I'm blocking shit. Touch me, I'm on you blocking shit, cause I'm black, you think I got a cop to flip, but that's a stereotype, that's accurate. Cause crackers laying niggas in these cold streets and then tell my brother, you gotta bleed for me. I want you because I'm black. Can't go job because I'm black. She won't help me because I'm black. I ain't like because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she's black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops want to kill me because I'm black. Ops want to drill me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She won't fuck me because I'm black. I ain't like because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she's black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. So I'm black.
Man, let's get a song in hand.
That's right.
Let's get a song in hand. So before we get into it, right? I must know. Slocky, sir. You know, what made you write this song, sir?
The short version of...
I mean, let's listen. We here to have a good time. You know, tell Israel what made you go and put this piece of art together in the way that you did, did this artwork.
Okay. So, I've been writing music for a long time, probably, since I was about 4 years old. So I always loved being intricate and always loved, having fun with the art of music, with the art of hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As y'all know, New Jersey is very rich culturally as far as hip hop is concerned.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so coming into the truth from the world is like, it's like you don't want to rap because you find out there's more important things in life than making bars and beats and things like that. You're more concerned with saving your people, getting your brothers out the streets, getting sisters out the clubs,
right,
making them wives and things like that. So I kind of left it alone, and then a brother who's no longer inside the school with us just dragged me to the studio one time. He was making like a mixtape. He dragged me to the studio. We make a song together. I make the song. He like, man, that junk was fire. Let's make a whole tape.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So he just starts scheduling, we going half in the studio, scheduling.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm making a song. This is cool. And the last time we was going to the studio, I'm like, I think I gotta make something that kind of like stand out. I want to make something that it's kind of fire to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to actually get in my bag now. I was just picking random beats and rapping to them and putting them out and just kind of testing the water of rapping while being in the truth.
Right.
And then when I came across this beat right here, and I always love beats where you got women being melodic in the background, women singing in the background.
Right.
I always love those type of beats, man. I feel like you talk a little more and it's a little more felt. You know what I'm saying? When you talk on those types of beats. So I picked the beat, man, in 45 minutes maybe. I write all 3 verses and I write the hook.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? No second guessing what I was putting down or nothing like that. And it was just a product of, I think we made this in late 2016. So maybe I was in the truth for about 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole 18 months, I just was focused on nothing but the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't focused on making no music. I wasn't focused on making no friends. I wasn't focused on getting any women, having any ribs, anything like that. I felt like I was so disgusted. I had to transform my life entirely for the entire time I was in the truth.
Right.
So that brother said, hey, yo, man, you look like you rap. Come to the studio with me. I go to the studio. The process happened like I explained it. And just the culmination of not focusing on the world, the culmination of finally getting back in the studio, which is something I love to do, and finally make some more art. I think the culmination of everything I learned from the generals and everything I learned from the captains inside the ISUPK, mixed with how I like to present my art and how I like to rap, is you just got the song that you got right here.
Right. So I have a question for you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being in the truth as long as you've been,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, being up under the generals and up under Captain Tazariak, the Kimmy Killer. Hey, listen, and watch out for the Kimmy Killer tonight, later on at 7 o'clock. He's going to be doing what he does best.
That's right.
Killing Kimmy, okay? So stay tuned for that as well after Ball Breakdown in the Green Room. Look forward to watch Captain Tazariak do what he always do, and that's destroy these other people or our other people, and saying that the Bible is absolutely right and correct in its analogies of Black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people being the people that God chose as his people.
To be specific, if I could,
Please, sir.
It would be crushing Shaka Atmos again.
Oh, again. This
You
is
know
like,
so y'all tune into that live tonight,
right?
April 7th. If you're watching this and this past, what's April 8th today? Live April 8th. You know what I'm saying?
Right, it's the 8th, sir.
You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this in the future, maybe it's late April or wherever you find this video, you go back to April 8th, 2023, and you watch Captain Zariak destroy Shaka Atmos again.
Again, right.
Go ahead.
But as I was saying, sir, you know, being in the truth for so long, at this time and period when you made this song, right? You said you was in the truth for about 18 months strong,
somewhere
around give or take 18 months. And you know exactly what you wanted to present to Israel, speaking for Israel from the standpoint of a priest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is outstanding. I absolutely love the song, right? Mm-hmm. But let me ask you now, what's the difference between your music then and your music now?
My music, as far as when I made this song versus music that I make today.
Right, come.
Oh, okay. So, it's really just experience. So, like, you can kind of compare it to when any cat is making their first song versus when they 2 mixtapes, 3 mixtapes deep, and now they're getting ready for their album.
Right.
You can kind of compare it to the same exact way, because even in the world, cats be testing the waters. What flow do I like? What beat selection do I like? What pockets do I like to stay in?
Right.
How do I, what's my signature? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You play around with that for a mixtape or 2, 3, 4 mixtapes sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And then you try to create an album as far as when it comes to this rap stuff, when it comes to this hip hop stuff.
Right.
That's the route that a lot of brothers go. So when I made this, I probably made a song. The song we made was called The Grit. That was the very first song I ever recorded in the truth. And of course, before that, I've written like probably 8 to 15 songs in general while being in the truth. And of course, I wasn't going to go record them because I was focused on changing my life.
Right.
So when he asked to make The Grit, we make The Grit. And then when this song came up, I think my side on that mixtape we did had about 7 or 8 songs.
Mm-hmm.
About 7 or 8 songs or somewhere like that. And when I heard this beat, it's like the first time, I'm not gonna say the other songs was forced, but it was so fluent. Like, it was 45 minutes. Like, it would be hard for me to say it was over an hour to make this. And it was kind of like I found the pocket. I found the groove. Doesn't mean everything is gonna sound like this song, but it's like I found my pocket. I found my groove. My art mixed with my new mind, mixed with being in the truth and being a new person, had finally meshed perfectly.
Okay. So I one more question before we get started into breaking down the bars, right?
So I didn't even really, you said the difference between then and now.
Right, the difference between then and now.
So that was then. Around this song is where it finally meshed.
Right.
And now it's more like, doing more of that and trying to test to see how far can I take it? What different beat selections can I do? How well can I play, can I play around with it? Because brothers in the world who we hold on high pedestals, no matter what your top 5 is, top 10 is of hip hop all the time, because you rap in the truth does not mean you have to be a worse rapper than them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I found my pocket now. I don't have to rap about drugs. I don't have to rap about shooting cats unlawfully. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't have to go that route. I don't have to go that sinful route or that route that destroys our people. I'm able to rap the way that I was taught to, with the knowledge I was taught from the ISUPK. And finally now I feel like it's all the way there. Like, this song was like a test, like a taste of what I really wanted to do.
Right. Okay.
It's like now when I make music, it's kind of like it's married together.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. I understand. Well, I have one more question for you before we start breaking down your bars, right? As far as hip hop goes, now hey, shout out to Lost Tribes, Salakia, sir, for not shouting you out. Hey, shout out to Lost Tribes, which is producing also Yash Allah's new album that's gonna be coming out soon. Look for it. Israel, we got a lot of things coming from, No Worries, aka / Lost Tribes. Shout out to Captain Katazar. We have to give the brother his just dues because listen, he does great work, great beats, amazing apps that he's putting together for Israel. So give it up to Captain Katazar, please. I know you work right.
If I could, that was really what allowed me to understand and get a grasp on how to rap in the truth.
Right.
Because the brother definitely invited me to the studio. And the only reason I was comfortable going was because by that point, I think one of the first songs I ever heard from a brother in the truth was Captain Katazar's 0 to 100 remix.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it and I was replaying it. This is back when we had, what I want to say, like a Google newsletter or google.post.com.
Right.
Something that's obsolete.
Right.
Something completely obsolete. And the song was on there and I'm listening. I'm like, now this is fire. Like, this is fire. And it's not talking about all that garbage.
Right.
Man, this is fire. I'm listening. And then it's like I just got so comfortable with his style of rap. I was able to adapt and be like, you know what? I can be fire and talk how I was taught.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Right. No, that's a glorious thing. Listen, man, Captain Katazar, man, he's outstanding when it comes to hip hop. And I listened to his transition in hip hop from hip hop to being into the truth with hip hop. And I heard some of his older work and to now work is like he definitely elevated. He definitely elevated on many levels, especially in that producer pocket. He's definitely going somewhere. He actually sat down, gave me a lot of teaching. I know you've been in the studio with Cap several times. And now we got more music coming out in Israel. So I have 2 questions. Do you plan on dropping another album? See, I know I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes. I mean, listen, I can't believe he tries to play coy and shy. But listen, he's a granimal. Y'all understand? He from North. Salakia. But he's definitely like that. So I have to ask this question because we want to know. Can we expect something from you in the near future?
Yeah, so this is April. I do plan on dropping something prior to going to the Fire Weekend. So I do plan on going out there in the Midwest.
That's right.
Y'all heard it here first. Right. Y'all heard it here first. Right. Hey, listen, Israel, y'all got to get ready for this. We got problems coming on the market.
Nah, I do. It's a single, right?
Right.
So I'm just going to drop something. I have, over the years, I've bought a bunch of beats. I've written a lot of albums and I've written mixtapes. I think I've written 2 albums and 3 mixtapes. Yeah. And I bought the beats to maybe 60 or 70% of those songs.
Right.
I had those beats. And I think now some of them is obsolete songs and I'll probably never record them, put them out. But some of them that still stood the test of time and I will still record them and put them out.
Right.
So I do plan on putting a single out prior to going out there to the Midwest, depending no matter where that cookout is at. And then I would probably start working on putting one of those tapes, 2 of those tapes out, and then I'll probably prepare for an album maybe towards the end of the year.
Hey, y'all heard it here first. Oscar Ball's coming back. He's coming back, Israel. Listen, we already got an anthem, so you can imagine what's coming. Imagine what's coming. He's coming back, Israel. So listen, one more last question. The last question I have to ask this question, right? Okay. Now, over the course of time, as far as Israel and making the music, and we have a lot of brothers that's making music in Israel. Okay. Now, first of all, we already know Commander Jeremy Hanna has sent the word down to 12th Shield General Hyman, right? That he wanted to take over music. And that, to me, that was one of the most best days for me because I was giving up music, and I was like, man, I'm done with it. I'm ready to give up everything because it was too much. The people that you have to deal with, weed smoking, and all the worldly things that you got to put. You in order to run a studio, you had to deal with some of the worldly things that come with it, and do your toolage and your knowledge that you gave me. You showed me the difference between running the studios adequately still with dealing with the worldly people. So I do water to you for that, sir. But now I have more Israel coming to the studio. Philly, shout out to Officer Knock. Listen, Knock TV, man. Watch it, man. Shout out to Officer Knock, man. It's a song dropping. Can't wait. Officer Knock, myself, and Officer Yash Allah. It's dropping soon. The video's dropping. It should be any day now. We waiting on Officer Knock, man. But listen, it's coming soon. But due to that, I done start dealing with Israel in a whole now. More officers, Officer Malak. Listen, man, y'all don't even understand what's coming. I got some stuff on these boards that's crazy. Also, Malakia, also not. Listen, we got some stuff coming, Israel. So, what I say to you, and the question to you is, sir, where do you see the music going as far as Israel? You have also Dunya Allah. You have Captain Akkad, who's a vibe within himself. You have Captain Ty War. You have so many brothers in Israel that's dropping headbangers. We had the show. We had the actual show at the All Black Party where brothers went and did their show, jumped on stage. It was like a movie there. It was It wasn't like a movie. It was a movie. That was wonderful and glorious. So where do you see hip hop going? Far as the truth, where do you see it going, progressing to?
It could go as far as the brothers want to take it. Different brothers have different aspirations inside of this,
right?
So different brothers want to do different things. Captain Kazazai has already had shows in venues. Specifically, the one I remember is the one in Brooklyn. But he has already had shows in venues. With the average person in the crowd listening, getting it out to the public. So you have that. Brothers is already putting out quality music videos. I think brothers, we have producers in the school. We have videographers in the school.
Right.
We definitely have the rappers in the school. We have engineers in the school. So it really depends on how far the brothers want to take it. You know what I'm saying? That's really it, because the brothers is talented. Captain Akkad, we often refer to him as like the Truth's Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you feel a soul in every record he make.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So brothers can take it as far as they want to. You know what I'm saying? The truth is definitely not going to stop any money that brothers want to make inside of, the rap game.
Right.
There'll be places you probably don't want to perform and things like that. So things that we're obviously not going to do, being that we're priests and prophets. But other than that, I don't think any brother should limit themselves to thinking I'm not going to be able to do this because they're not going to agree with what I have to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could definitely take it as far as you want to. But I know when we was getting heavy into it in 2017, when we dropped the mixtape that I was mentioning earlier, we got shown interest from Columbia. So I know brothers might not want to go the route of signing to a label.
Right.
But gaining interest from a label means some A&R, right? Some talent guy looks at you and says, oh, I could potentially make money off this guy.
Right.
So if they believe they can make money off of you, then that means you could also market yourself and make money yourself.
Right.
And if he's willing to invest in you, then we're not talking small money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, you might not be a multi-millionaire in the first couple years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might not be like that, but I know underground artists in New Jersey themselves making $40,000, $60,000 off a mixtape a month after release.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and we're talking about with cats. We work jobs that's $40,000 a year.
Right.
$36,000 a year. 50 if you got a little bit of skill. 70 if you really got some skill. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
We're talking about 40 to 60,000 in a month.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So not only would that free up brothers' time to do more for the truth,
right,
but you'd also be doing something where you don't feel as oppressed. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely possible. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't want to go to label route, you just understand the music we making, we still get interest from labels and from A&Rs and things like that. And they think they can make money off you.
Right.
They not in it for 40, 60,000. They thinking, yo, we can make 6 figures plus, high 6 figures off this cat.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if they think that, you might not have to go that route and get that big machine behind you. But if you could do 700,000 with Columbia, surely you could do 100,000 on your own.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then you got the cats, the Griselda cats who's doing all of those vinyl records and merchandise.
Right.
And they getting that merchandise out there and them vinyl records out there, and they getting a lot of money off of merchandise. Damn the tour sales, damn all that, damn the streaming numbers. The fans is buying the merchandise,
right,
and the fans is buying the vinyl records and the special CDs,
right,
and things like that as memorabilia and as a way to remember them just because they're hardcore fans.
Right,
so
right,
you
right.
appeal to that fan base, people who love what you're talking about, and people who like, yo, he still got bars, he's still one of the hottest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 100,000 a year. Like I said, when we working jobs, that's getting 24,000 a year.
Right.
36,000, 40, 50, 60,000 a year. If you could do 100 in a year, 200 in a year,
right,
I'm pretty sure all the brothers would be, they'd be satisfied with that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's as far as you want to take it.
Okay, I have a second part to that. Where do you see the call? You know what we do on Saturdays? We go to camp and we call out to our people. We prophesize to the wind.
Right.
So how do you see us prophesying to the wind with the music aspect? Do you see that being a great help as far as calling to our people, or do you see this as just another way of just doing the Lord? Do you see it as doing the Lord's work greatly?
Well, I think you putting the Lord's work inside of your heart.
Right.
So, and then you have Israel, then the blacks, Hispanics, and natives who we're very visual, right? We're very visual. We respond to entertainment more than a lecture. Right. So we respond to entertainment more. Now, camp will always be necessary so long as we in captivity.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But we respond to entertainment a certain way where it's like, yo, man, I don't agree with everything they say on the corner. But when you put it like this, I kind of understand. And I've actually come across people that have said that. I've had engineers, we was first starting out, that wouldn't understand, which is kind of how the bar breakdown came about when me and you was brainstorming.
Right,
because I had engineers that would record us, and he'd be like, yo, your bars is fire. Your double entendres, your triple entendres, your metaphors, your meanings is fire.
Right.
And then we get out the booth and finish recording the verse. He's like, yo, what's wrong? I was recording a song called After Camp, and I said something about worshiping Horus. I was like, she's unlawful in Horus because she worshiping Horus.
Right.
I did this out of boredom. He tried to duck, but I caught him. And he's like, yo, that's all fire.
Bars.
Yeah.
Bars, y'all.
He's like, that's fire, but what's wrong with serving Horus? So like right then and there, I'm like, yo, what we doing is we just rapping. Right. All we doing is rapping with the knowledge we was taught. But these cats recording us, these cats is gonna play our records, these cats, when you blasting it out your car, you coming down the street and somebody is just walking. They not gonna understand all the meanings, everything you saying, but same thing with the car. I've had people come up like, yo, who are you playing? Me. Or who are you playing? This is such and such. Who is that? This is not. Who's not?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've seen cats trying to Shazam the music.
Right.
Right. App call, right?
Right. Shazam.
Yeah. Trying to Shazam the music.
Right.
Because they're like, yo, this is fire. And they ask questions. Engineers asking questions. So it's definitely a way to fish, because that engineer asking that question, should he have made the decision like, yo, I want to serve the Lord? Because what he also said is, I would decorum and come into his studio.
Right.
Not destroying the studio, not smoking no weed, being respectful with the alcohol we did drink there.
Right.
Offering him some alcohol. Like, yo, my man, you want a shot? You got Coronas. What you?
Right.
He passed on it. Cool. He take it. Cool. We were so respectful and handled ourselves a certain way while we're pursuing this music. Just going in to record, it made him love recording us. He was like, yo, y'all the best record. Like, I love when y'all come here and record, because I'm getting paid, but it's a good ass time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then we would book it for like a whole day. So we there for a cool 10 hours, 10, 12 hours.
Right.
And he like, yo, I'm getting paid. Absolutely. Like, this is my job, so I got to get paid. but this is mad fun.
Right.
I don't understand everything y'all saying, but we come and he asking, he like, yo, what? I remember the cat name was Finster, and he'd be like, yo, why would you say that? What are you saying this for? And we breaking it down to him. He like, yo, that's crazy, bro.
Right.
He wound up not coming into the truth, but you never know what engineer is gonna come into the truth.
Right.
You don't know what fan that doesn't already know of ISUPK, but might hear your music
and come into the ISUPK.
You don't know what. Yeah. What the hell is he talking about?
Right.
Here's a song when you sing "We One West," and you like One West.
Hey, shout out to One West, to One West World. You know what I mean?
Come, what's all crazy? That's right. And he hears One West, and he like One West, and he ties it together with some of the other stuff you're saying in your music. He like One West.
Googling, yes.
Likes.
Right.
Oh, these them cats that be on the corner.
Exactly.
They make music. Oh snap! They not what they like to say. They say we too militant. We always serious. Oh snap! They make music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They might actually be regular. They might actually be a person. That might not be a robot on the corner.
Right.
They might actually be a person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely that music could definitely be a way to fish.
Well, Slaki, let me just add a little piece on. It's also like what they projected as when we went down to the 54th Passover in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. You know, we did make the news, and they said they compared us to other. What would you say? Compared us to hateful groups.
They tried to call us a hate group.
They tried to call us a hate group, and they tried to compare us to other hate groups and so on and so forth. But everywhere we went, from Walmart to Outback to the movie theater, they loved us. We left a great impression. Right. It's the same thing that what you did when you went to the studio. We are definitely different from everybody else. Every other Black organization, so to speak, that ever been out there, from gangs to Black Power people. What do you call them? That Black activists, the conscious community. Right. We're definitely different.
Right. So you got cats in the industry that make pro-Black music.
Right.
I'm saying? But you always look at them as rapper first.
Right.
And okay, he said some pro-Black things in his music.
Right.
The biggest example would be Kendrick Lamar. When Kendrick Lamar came out and said that Israelite stuff, you know, we looking at it like that's us. We looking at it like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's nice. You should learn that.
Right.
You should know that. Okay, cool. And the cat in the world, I'm looking at these cats in the world, mind blown.
Right.
Mind blown.
Right.
Oh my God, he got on the track and said this. I can't believe it. Kendrick is daring. Kendrick is this. He's pro-Black and he's still the top rapper in the world. This is amazing.
Right.
It's amazing to them. It's amazing that a rapper would dabble in being pro-Black.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That he started to cultivate both crowds. And that's why I said the sky's the limit, because you can cultivate both crowds. We are activists in our community. That's what we are. We're the priests and prophets of the Lord.
Right.
We're here to fix our community.
Right.
And then we can rap. Kendrick is a rapper who showed some interest in caring about his people.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the fact that he was able to grab both crowds.
Okay.
You can grab both crowds and you can take it to that height.
Well, of course, Dewada to you, sir, for first of all, for being on the show, Dewada for the great music, and Dewada for the teachings, man, that you give to us brothers, and the guidance that you give us brothers. So we're gonna give it up to you for one more time, right?
That's right.
And listen, now we're gonna get into the best part. Listen, brothers, it's now we coming to the part of my part of the show that I love doing, absolutely, because it's so great. I'm going to show brothers how this song that he did ties into scriptures. Now, be prepared, because we might have, listen, we getting late into the show. We might have to break this into two parts, because this is outstanding what Oscar Ball has brought forth to us. So we're going to go and we're going to start it up. Salakia, do you have any questions, Osayash, for Oscar Ball?
I actually do have one.
Go ahead, please.
Being that you've been doing music for so long.
A little louder.
Being that you've been doing music for so long, and you done made transitions from being in the world to being in the truth, and now you're making other transitions as you've been in the truth, and incorporated, the truth into your music. Like, where do you see yourself now as far as like competition, whether in the world or in Israel? And do you see yourself do you see yourself battling anybody now that you make these transitions?
No.
That's a great question. I like how you put that. Artfully, you put that.
Yeah, sneakily.
Yeah. That ain't slugging, so you know he's wise as a serpent.
Yeah.
And he was gentle as a dove at the same time. He's a priest.
I learned from my camp leader.
Yeah. Oh, who's your camp leader?
Yeah, what's he called?
Oh, so you learned wise.
Yes, yeah.
So what you got to say to this, sir?
No, like, so when it comes to rap music, it is inside the art form. It should always be a competition as far as you wanting to make the best music possible. You should hear the other fire that brothers are putting out, and if that ignites a fire in you to make better music than you have previously, then that's all fine. Now, we obviously shouldn't be in competition as far as like a Republican and a Democrat fighting for a House seat.
Right.
That's different. You see what I'm saying? That's a different type of competition that we definitely shouldn't be in. But if you hear a song from another brother that ignites you to go, yo, that jump was fire, and then you be sitting there like, I can rap too, though, yo. I gotta make something better than I did last time. That's absolutely fine, because we don't compete like that inside the priesthood, right? We get inspired by one another. And it's kind of, I guess you kind of call it that. You kind of call it inspiration, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You should get inspired. When brothers make fire music, you should absolutely get inspired. And inside of this art form, you do strive to be the best, because that makes you put out the best content that you want.
Right.
That's what you want to do. You want to put out classic albums. You want to put out daring. You want mixtapes, like you want a run of mixtapes like Wayne.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You want a crazy mixtape run. You want classic albums. That's what you want to do, because inside of the art game, you want to be remembered, right? You see, they got Van Gogh's paintings still in the museum.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? His paintings are sitting there still in the museum, and it was other artists around at that time. You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
But Van Gogh got remembered for a classic or for classics. You see what I'm saying? So what you're doing in this art game is just like immortalizing yourself inside the art.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? After some of the greats died, the big L's, the big puns, and things like that, when they died, why do we still even talk about them? Because they made such classics going on 30 years ago. Some of it is 30 years ago.
Purple Tape, immortal.
So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So it's like you talk about them because they made something that's timeless.
Right.
Whether they passed or not, you made something timeless. So that's why I'm actually real grateful that the whole damn nation still be playing Cause I'm Black. Because I didn't plan on it being timeless. I was just trying to master my craft, and then this is what came out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So as far as competition, I think brothers should just get inspiration.
Well, I do know something, right? I believe it was you who played the beat, and you said I want all of Israel rappers to jump on this one particular beat, and we do like what do you call it?
Like a cipher.
Like a cipher, but every Israelite jump on it and play their part and do what they do. You know, and it's not a competition, like you said. It's just
I wanted to make a new anthem.
A new anthem, right.
So I wanted to make a new anthem. I ain't gonna tell you what the beat is, so y'all can be sitting here going over and over the beat. But what I wanted to do is whatever a time where Israel get together, presumably like the Passover,
right,
or presumably like one of the cookouts or something like that. You rent a studio out in that area, wherever that area is,
right,
and a high quality studio, and everybody would get the beat beforehand and
right
beforehand, and we go in there and we would perform it to perfection. And this beat was a very large anthem beat for a certain movement, a certain music movement about 10 years ago. And it turned into an anthem, and yeah, that's still, I would still love to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, Lord allow it that, you know, we get to do that song. That would be great. I think when you first told me about it, I was like excited about it, because it's something that I would like to see happen for Israel, and I would like to be a part of it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of brothers that would definitely be a part of it. Did you have any more questions?
Yeah, actually, I have one more question.
Here we go, Ayash. Yeah.
You know, being that camp leader, you know, such a busy brother, you know, I mean, putting in the bricks to make a mansion for Christ when he returns.
Right.
You know what I mean? When do you plan on getting back into the studio, getting back into action? Because I'm quite sure you have some unfinished business in the studio, unfinished work.
Well, I don't have any unfinished work as far as competition. But I do have.
I like that. Hey, listen, that's an inside joke, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna catch it, but if you need to know, we'll talk about it later. But go ahead, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I do plan on putting that single out prior to the Midwest Cookout. So the Midwest Cookout is more than likely going to maintain what it always has throughout the years, which is the last week of July.
Mm-hmm.
It's July, June. July.
The Midwest?
July, right?
I believe it's into July, sir.
Yeah, so the end of July, right? I will put it out prior to that. So that could be as soon as probably something like May. Nothing immediate, like the next week or two, or nothing like that. But it's like, what is it, like April 8th? I could see myself probably putting something out maybe in like May. Probably the latest would be sometime in June. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Y'all, I'm the hype man, y'all. Listen, I'm doing all this too. Can't see us. Not New Jersey. I'm doing all that. It's like, hey, listen, you know, we like to have fun on Ball Breakdown. Hey, but listen, without further ado, we're going to get busy, man. Let's get busy. Let's play this song. Let's break down the bars. Start us up, Officer Yash. Now, wait, before we get started, I'm going to let y'all know, in the hook, he starts off crazy. He starts off crazy in the hook, so y'all already know how I do Israel. He starts blacking out from the hook. But let's get busy. Go ahead.
Cops want me because I'm black. Cops want me because I'm black. Getting a job because I'm black.
Stop. Listen, bring it back. I can't never get stuck. Y'all know how I get, man. Y'all know how I get, Israel. He started from the very beginning. First of all, listen, the women in the background, they that harmony, it touches soul. This is a soul toucher right here. The harmony alone, and then the beat. Y'all hear that bass in the background? Man, listen, the beat is retarded. But then he started off, cops want to kill me because I'm black. Y'all know where we going, right? Y'all know where we going in the scriptures. I mean, listen, y'all should know the black scriptures, okay? Cops want to kill me because I'm black, man. Listen, your enemy hates you because you're black. That's just natural. I mean, in Israel, we know this. But those that's not in Israel, listen, your enemy hates you because you're a black man, because you're a Hispanic man, because you're a Native American man, because the Lord chose you. They hate you, and they want to kill you because of so. What scripture we gonna start off with? Because of this right here. You got the scriptures over there, Goyala. Sir, do you got any scripture you want to start out with?
I think that one was. I think it was like Hunt Your Steps.
Hunt Your Steps, absolutely.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 18.
What is it? Hey, listen, Yash Allah is coming heavy with these scriptures, man. Go ahead, spit it out.
Book of Lamentations chapter 4, verse 18.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18.
Go ahead.
They hunt our steps.
They do what?
They hunt our steps.
Our enemy hunts our steps. They hate you because you're black. They hate you because you're Hispanic. They hate you because you're a Native American.
That's right.
They hate us because God chose us. They hate you because you're one of the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
Got any more on that?
Khan.
Read.
That we cannot go in our streets.
Man, listen, look at your community. Look at your community. Look at your children when they go outside. They're getting being stopped and pulled over by the police for broken tail lights, which is a lie. They break the tail lights. Stop for speeding, which sometimes is a lie because they're not speeding, because they don't want to get in trouble. They hate your children. They hate you. They stop you for the obscene things that you should not be stopped for. Do you have anything you want to say on that, sir?
Oh, no, you pretty much covered it. You know what I'm saying? They definitely hunt the steps of black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you do got to look at it like they're an internal enemy. So I know some black people try to join the force. You know what I'm saying? You try to join the force and try to think you're going to be the force that changes the force.
Right.
You the one guy that they've been waiting on this whole time. And you just going to change the force, the entire police force. When in reality, when it's saying they hunt your steps, that's because the men in blue are an entirely different race, man.
Right.
Men in blue is like a race unto itself, and they will oppress you. So soon as a black man, when you join the police force, it's like you're no longer black, you blue. It's like you no longer even so-called African American. It's like you automatically side with your quote-unquote brother in blue.
Right.
That's all the terms they use. You should take literally. You shouldn't take it as a euphemism or anything like that. You should take it very seriously. My brothers in blue, the men in blue. Y'all are like a team. Y'all are a family. And y'all family crush black people.
Right.
You crush black people. That's one of the core themes of that family. And you'll have a cop that's good, or a cop that does his job, or a cop that's nice. So then we'll lose track of, well, your family's bad.
Right.
Your family's bad. You might have somebody with the last name Bush that's related to George Bush.
Right.
That would never do the war crimes George Bush did.
Right.
That does not hate black people. You might have that. But I mean, just look at the Bushes as a whole. You might have somebody with the last name. Who's them twins that own Walmart? What's their last name?
The twins that own Walmart.
It's a man and a woman. They white. You might have somebody in that family. You might have somebody in a Rothschild. You might have somebody across the globe with the last name Rothschild that's not a billionaire.
Right.
They might just be an average cat working a job, $56,000 a year.
Right.
But they have the last name Rothschild. That don't mean the rest of them ain't rich.
Right.
The rest of them are rich. So you think you're gonna go in the police force and be a good cop, and then you get called to the scene with 5 other bad cops. You're not gonna do nothing. And we see it all the time on body cameras. We see it all the time in the news, and all the time when y'all get these damn sentences passed down. You see it all the time because you will never be allowed to be this good cop you claim.
Right.
It'll never happen.
Right.
So you'll always hunt the steps of your brother if you think you're going to join the men in blue.
You know, it's funny you bring that up, right? I have a sister that's a detective now. She started out as a sheriff and grew to be a cop, Jersey City Police, and then she grew into being a detective. And you know, an incident happened, you know, a while back. A family member died, and she knew I was into the world at the time. I was in, you know, this pre-truth, and I was in the world. It's another chair outside, right out front. Just grabbing the chair from out front. You can keep your chair there. Just grab the chair from out front. But like I said, my sister would ask me questions like, "Tell me," and I'm like, "I'm not never. What is wrong with you? I'm not never. First of all, don't do that. Don't ever discredit me or disrespect me like that. I'm never telling you nothing. You understand? So I understand she's my sister, but she wants me to be other. You get what I'm saying? She wants me to be, let's call it what it is. She wants me to do on some 6ix9ine snitch shit. Select it. You know what I mean? And I said I can never be that. And the thing about it is I had to learn to separate my sister, the cop, from my sister. You understand? And when don't talk to me about your work shit. Don't talk to me about talk to me about family things. When we in a family setting, don't talk to me
like she lost a part of her blackness,
right, sir,
when
right,
joining the force,
right, because she was hunting down the footsteps of another person, and she wanted to come to me and say, "I know you're in the streets. I know your ear is different from mine," and she was like, "Tell me, tell you what? What? Are you serious? Because you're my sister. You think you're gonna get this information?"
She tried to. She was comfortable.
She tried me.
She was now comfortable locking up black people.
Yes, con.
Because she joined a new race. Now she's not black no more. Now she has to disassociate herself from understanding the conditions that would promote somebody to rob, kill, steal.
Right.
You have to disassociate yourself from that because now I am a police officer.
Right.
Now I'm a man in blue. In her case, I'm a woman in blue now.
Right.
And that is criminal. That is criminal. Forgetting who you are, forgetting your race. Right? In the Bible, in Jeremiah 17:4, it says, "Shall you discontinue from your heritage?"
Right.
Forgetting where you come from is criminal. It's criminal. And that's the difference between being a police officer and a priest. Because I could never fathom being a police officer in the world. I have a friend who wanted to become a police officer, and we just clowned him until he changed his mind because it was the most ridiculous thing. Like, we have in the world, of course, we have illegal guns on our waist. What the hell are you talking about?
Right.
You want to go be a police officer? What are you talking about? I just want to carry my gun legally. And well, you can do that before you cut your family. You can just go ahead and apply and do and handle your business.
Right.
And of course, we clowned him out of doing that.
Right.
But that's the difference between being a priest and a cop. Because as a priest, we tell people, look, man, the Lord is going to deal with you for doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I understand why you think you have to do this.
Right.
But I'm on this corner to tell you, you don't have to do this. I'm answering this phone to tell you, you don't have to do this.
Right.
And I don't want you to do this. But if you do it, the men in blue are going to come get you.
Right.
But if you ask us on the corner, we're not turning black people over like somebody else.
No.
Like some other people we know, we're not going to turn you in if you have a warrant.
Right.
You understand? We're not going to do that. We're going to tell you, look, if you continue down the path you're going, the Lord is going to see fit that you get dealt with.
Right.
And that's just a big difference between being a police officer and being a priest. Man. It's just such a huge difference, man.
Right.
I just wanted to
Hey, no, I listen, the water, sir. Hey, listen, man, we got a guest in the building. Priest and Officer 5,000 Yerushalayim. Man, give him a hand, man. He showed up in the building. Hey, listen, Israel, y'all might not think or know he raps, but he has an album coming too. Look out, Israel. We have more music coming from more artists in Israel. Let's get to this song. Let's get some more of this song.
Cops want me because I'm black. Cops want me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She want fuck because I'm black. I don't like because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. I got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops want me.
The hook is bananas, y'all. The hook is bananas. First of all, we already talked about they hunting our footsteps, man, and how the cops hunt our footsteps, right? But bring it back a little bit and play. Well, the hook is about to repeat, right? Go ahead, press play. Go ahead, start it up.
Because I'm black. Cops want me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She want fuck because I'm black. I got no like because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black.
Pause it. Now, boy, y'all, you got something to say?
Y'all had something to say about the hunt down steps. You know, the first cops were slave catchers.
Right.
That's
right.
Those are real hunters.
Right. No, listen, they're hunters now. They're hunters now. They was hunters then. Ain't nothing new in the sun, under the sun, man.
That's right, Jerry.
You got something to say?
Like if I made a piggyback on what Guiel was saying, the actual original police officer were just the overseers of the slave plantations. They were paid to just watch over the oppressor's property. And if a slave
which was black people, right?
Right. So if a slave got out of pocket or tried to do anything to the property or tried to run away from the property, the overseer would then enforce the so-called law.
Well, what do you think police is today?
Overseers.
They're the same thing. What they call them? Overseers.
Right.
They actually call them that. But more into the song, right? You gotta understand what he's saying in the song. Play the hook again, please, Bobby Shaw. Play the hook again, and you gotta tell us what made you write the hook the way you wrote it. Y'all hear that?
Cops want me because I'm black. Cops want me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She want fuck because I'm black. I don't like because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops want me because I'm black. Cops want me because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She want fuck because I'm black. I got no like because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black.
Hey, I can't wait for the next album. Y'all got some stuff coming, Israel.
That's right.
So, what made you write this hook like this, sir?
That's pretty much the same as I touched on it earlier. It was really like I was just trying to find a way to artistically express the things that I was taught in the school at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, this is probably the 6th song I ever recorded in the truth.
Right.
And it was all on the same tape, and we recorded them all within like a week or 2 week span. You know what I'm saying? We was really rushing to try to put that tape out. So it was like, I just made it. Like I just like I want to marry everything that I learned from the general. I was going to classes in New York in the middle of the projects, in the middle of 115th, what was that, Fifth Ave or something like that?
Right.
And we sitting in there.
115th, 116th. Yes, that's right.
Hot room. Oh, hot room.
Yeah.
They ain't like us, but they let us come in and do class.
You
know what I'm saying? People getting shot right outside.
In the projects.
I'm making sure, like, I get there coming from New Jersey to Harlem. I'm making sure I get there every Tuesday and Thursday it was, and ain't no Saturday camp. So I'm just traveling back and forth with the opportunity to sit at the feet of General Mahyman and the feet of Captain Zariat and Captain Katazar when he would teach on Tuesdays.
Right.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just absorbing this and becoming this person. And then when I learned that it's okay to put the art out, I'm like, damn, like I don't want to be an embarrassment. So how the hell would I put the art out?
Right.
In a manner that would not embarrass the school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we even had Captain Katazar listen to the tape before putting it out.
You know what this song reminds me of? Like back in the day, you know, I'm a little older, so I know a little more music. I listen to a little more variety of music, right? Mm-hmm. And it used to be a song called "I'm Black and I'm Proud." This gives me that vibe.
That's right.
I'm black and I'm proud. I mean, in that time, I'm black and I'm proud was a time in a transition when it was black people was proud of being who they are. Mm-hmm. And it was in an era where we needed a voice. And that song, I'm Black and I'm Proud, was a voice for the people at the time.
No, I would say it was definitely to provide a voice, but it's more so because I come from like the hood.
Right.
Like the heart of the hood. So
right.
It's like everything I said there, like I meant it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I go in the corner store, I'm trying to get a bacon, egg, and cheese, and probably behind the counter. And I'm telling you, I write like real life stuff. I don't lie in anything I write. So
right. You don't know how to be fake. I
go in there and I'm in my corner store, Poppy named Willie. I'm like, what's up, Willie? Let me bacon and cheese. I go in the front, and that specific part was, I don't remember who was in the front at the cash register, but he had his daughter with him. I was like, She was like my age. So I'm like, I'm saying,
Judite.
He
said Judite.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, Pop. I'm like, that's your daughter, Pop? He's like, yeah, it's my daughter. I said, damn, that's crazy. He go, yeah. She come with me sometime. I said, yeah. I start plotting. You know what I'm saying? So I came back next time. I'm like, yo, your daughter at? Ooh. Like, oh, you want to see my daughter? Oh. Yeah, right. I mean, you get to talking and stuff. So I'm like, now he ain't actually not like me, you know what I'm saying? But there are instances where Hispanics would think they're different than us.
Right.
You know, you'll be interested in a girl that's from one of them tribes, and the father be looking like you Ecuadorian, you're supposed to marry an Ecuadorian.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a respectable pride because that's how we feel as Israelites.
Right.
You an Israelite, marry an Israelite. Of course, we just been brainwashed to believe black and brown is different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's not even like I'm hating him because of it. That's why I said I ain't got time for none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, and I understand it.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand it.
It was kind of like that. So that brother that I'm actually talking about didn't hate me, but I pulled the second part of it from knowing through other experiences, like,
right.
You know, Hispanics sometimes think they're different than us, and vice versa. We think we have two different cultures. We think we're two different people when it's the same culture in different languages. You
right.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, no, they just swim better.
It's the same culture. You see what I'm saying?
They just swim better. It's the joke I've always made. But no, I understand exactly what you're saying. You know what I get out of that, though, sir? Is like, still, I like that. Like, you speaking black and proud, but from a deeper root. Like you said, you from the in the midst of the jungle. You know, right. I'm also from the midst of the jungle, just Jersey City North. Same atmosphere, you know. Mm-hmm. It's just different locations. It's the same atmosphere, the same air. Mm-hmm. So I understand what you're saying because it always was a separation. Puerto Ricans would be downtown, the Dominicans would be more in the heights, and we up on the hill and in the projects. And it was a separation. Now, as time has progressed, now you start seeing in Jersey City, you see the Hispanics, you see the bodegas, like you said, the bodegas, and you see the interests of our people now. But before, it was like such a separation between us.
And I'll take it a step further. I thought that my neighborhood was separated, right?
Right.
And it's a block where I'm at, and it's 15th Street. And the whole time, I thought those was black people. dark skin and speak perfect English. The whole time, those was dark skinned Simeonites,
Mm.
dark skinned Dominicans. The entire block.
The entire block.
They didn't play traditional Hispanic music,
Right.
and things like that. They grew up around mostly Black Americans or Negroes, right?
Right.
So
Right.
they would
Right.
play the music we played. So I'm pretty sure in their house they probably cooked traditional Hispanic dishes.
Right.
But when it came to music, you didn't ride down the block and hear traditional Hispanic music. You didn't walk down there and see anything that particularly pointed to them being Hispanic until one day I go down there. And it might be the Lord opening my eyes up, because when I came to the truth, I was walking down the block going to the store, and you hear them talking Spanish. And I'm like, that's way too fluent, but way too good of an accent.
Yeah.
For him to have learned that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In high school. You know what I'm saying? He ain't learned that in high school. That's his language. You know what I'm saying? So I see it, and I'm like, damn. And then I start, as I walk up and down that block all the time, go to the store, I see more of them talking Spanish.
Right.
More of them talking Spanish. I start paying more attention to the facial features and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, what? And I asked him, I knew like 2 people on the block. He was like, yeah, bro, I'm Dominican. You ain't know? I'm like, oh. Right. Okay, you Dominican. You know what I'm saying? And then he starts saying, yeah, like, there's mostly Dominicans on this block. Ooh, I'm like, it's mostly Dominicans on this block. He's like, it's mostly Dominicans on this block.
Right.
So a lot of the times we think kind of like with the Native Indians. We all think nobody think they're Native Indian, but some brothers might wind up actually being Native Indian.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You never know. You know what I'm saying? You might wind up being Native Indian. Just because you dark skin doesn't mean you're not Native Indian, because Israel is a speckled bird.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you be thinking, we all Judite. I'm not saying it here. I'm just saying.
Then I actually pull that scripture. What's that? Speckled bird. Israel's a speckled bird. I think I actually pulled that scripture.
Yeah, now, being that you had kind of basically had time against you in your process and preparing the mixtape and everything, and back in those days, going to class and the projects and stuff like that, the conditions was way different to where the school has evolved to now. Do you feel that maybe more like you say about Hebrew Academy, that it was more spiritual than anything in terms of your whole process and putting the mixtape together and the combination of everything coming together between you going to class and getting the music done within that time frame?
What do you mean? Is it harder?
No, meaning like, was it more spiritual with you putting it together? Like you didn't have to like force it. You let the Lord guide you in how this song came about.
Yeah, so I really didn't. I don't feel like none of it was forced. I do feel like it happened quickly, but I don't feel like I had to rush anything I made.
Let me see.
If anything, I vividly remember rushing a different song called He Ain't One West. I vividly remember kind of rushing that because I was supposed to be on my way to the studio, and I'm still in the house writing the damn song. I'm supposed to be on the train on my way to the studios in Queens.
12.
And I'm supposed to be over there doing that, and I just wasn't. I'm in the house writing He Ain't One West, and I know damn well the studio session is coming up, and I'm not. I'm still in the house writing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like it was really rushed per se, other than maybe that song,
Right.
and You Ain't Like Me, that over the Swiss beat that I did. Other than those two, I don't remember any of the songs feeling rushed at all.
Okay. Well, you know what? I listening to your music and doing music with you, recording you, watching your work processes and writing. I've experienced different things with you. As far as this music is pertaining to you doing music and your creativeness, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some outstanding things. I've seen you in a vibe write a whole song in that much time. I've seen you do that fast. I've seen you maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. I've seen you do a song. Actually, we did Car Confessions. Car Confessions, I think you wrote that all of what? Maybe 30 minutes, if that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Give or take. So I've seen you do that. Oh, we will play Car Confessions, Lord allow it. Because he was on Car Confessions. I know we on time. No, it's definitely gonna be a part 2. Listen, we're gonna stretch this one, but I want you brothers to hear Car Confessions. We're gonna play that towards the end of class, but we're gonna try and get a little more breakdown of this song. You have that scripture for me?
Oh, God. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 9.
Go ahead.
My mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field.
Sir,
Come to devour.
would you like to break that down, sir?
Yeah, so like read it again from the top.
Khan. Jeremiah 12:9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, meaning his people, which we know the Lord's heritage is his people, Israel.
Right.
It's like a speckled bird. So if you've ever been in any urban city, North Jersey City, any borough in New York City, any major city in any state around the country, you will see pigeons.
That's right.
And when you see these pigeons, they're not all just this bird gray.
No.
Right.
They're all speckled. They white dots, brown dots, light brown dots. Some of them is mostly looking white and then with little brown dots or
Right.
gray dots.
Right.
They're all speckled. They're all different types of colors. But irregardless, they're all pigeons. It
Right.
doesn't turn him into a falcon. He's not a hawk. You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's still a pigeon, but this pigeon, not a seagull,
Right.
but he's a pigeon, but it's all speckled. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes towards what I was saying when it's like you have Hispanics who are dark skinned, you have so-called Negroes, so-called Judites who are very, very light skinned. You
Right.
see my complexion, my sister is pale. It's pale with rosy red cheeks.
Have you seen my son?
Same mother and father.
Right. Have you seen my son?
No, I haven't.
Both me and his mother darker than me. That boy yellow. I don't even know where he come from.
My son
I
is
said,
yellow.
what the hell? I see your son.
Yeah.
Listen, my son yellower than your son.
Yeah.
Yes, son. I said, but he look like you. Listen, you can't deny that.
Yeah.
That's you.
That's
And you
right.
rough too. You want to fight all the time.
Right.
But no, listen. But see how you said that, sir. You know, Israel is like a speckled bird, which is it goes to show like we are all one. Israel's one people, but we have the 12 tribes under us, the 12 tribes under Israel, and that makes us different. You know, we're all one people, and I like how you broke that bar down. You know, she don't think she's a nigga. Slack you for the language. Like she don't think she's black because she's Hispanic. You know, she don't think she's Israel. And I love how you artfully put that together. Let's get a little more. Go.
And that's, if I could, real quick. Yeah, I didn't mean to take them both off. I meant to take one off.
What's that? Everything's still
A
up?
little block. Yeah, put that block back. Just put one block on one side.
Yeah, just on one side, one to the left.
Slide.
But go ahead, play.
If I could, real quick, with what you just said.
Go
If
ahead.
I could, let him leave it up for a while, or something like that. If I could touch on what you just said, though, right?
Go ahead, please.
I think the next part I said was, but I ain't got time for none of that.
Right.
Like, I ain't got time for none of that. You have to kind of treat it like black people are always, because we're very prideful,
Right.
and we think we're the best at everything. You have to understand that
We
it's the
are,
same
but
with Puerto
you know.
Ricans. It's the same with Dominicans. But I'm saying is, I'm talking about tribes.
Oh, tribe specifically. Oh, okay.
Judaism gonna fight they're the best. Ephraimites gonna fight they're the Dominican. Because we have pride as a people. You take pride in who you are.
Right.
That's to why. I ain't got time for none of that. It's basically like you kind of gotta not ignore, as in don't address. You have to treat those people who feel like blacks and Hispanics aren't the same. You have to treat them as negligible because they're incorrect, and you can't even give them. You can't give power to what they're talking about.
Right.
You
Right.
understand? You can't give power to it. You walk into a Hispanic restaurant, all they talking is Spanish. All they talking is Spanish, and you feel like you out of place. You should keep going. Right. Keep going to the Hispanic restaurant. Keep going to the Jamaican restaurant. Go to the Ecuadorian one. Some of my favorite food is Guyanese. Go inside these restaurants and go talk to these people and go inside their clothing stores and spend money in their business, and we talk together and we hang together, because that is what's going to get us to move past what is really only a language barrier.
Pull up, gather together.
It's really only a language barrier because by the time I got into 8th grade, I realized a lot of the women and men inside the class, we was all really mixed.
Right.
So my best friend when I was going into high school was a Benjamite. Right. The woman that I was getting with was Puerto Rican. Her best friend was Guyanese. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you really think that you're dealing with Judites, you in school and stuff like that. Take the time to sit there. Of course, not at that age, maybe, but when you get older, take the time to sit there and talk to just people in general. At that age, you might not. You worried about going to recess and blah, blah, blah. But as you're an adult,
Guts, you think about Guts at that age.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Ball breakdown, sir. You got to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest.
Come on, God, sir.
We from the gutter, but not everybody is. You know what I'm saying? At
So
that age, you still trying to. What I'm saying is, you trying to get the recess to play ball.
Right,
You're not worrying about somebody's background.
Right.
You ain't worrying about that. But if you really look back, a lot of people went to school, it might not have been the Judites you thought they was. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of this stuff I found out right before we went into high school. This girl's Guyanese, this girl's Puerto Rican. You look just like a Negro. You's Puerter Rican. Then our father come into the school and look like Benzino.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like that. It's like you gotta understand that the only thing really separating us, and then like I said, because we have the same habits, similar cultures, just a different language, so they'll be eating similar food,
Right.
similar interests,
Right.
use similar slang, and you'll be sitting there conversing with them, thinking the whole time, this is a so-called African American.
Right.
The entire time, this is a Guyanese, this is Ecuadorian, this is a Panamanian. You see what I'm saying? This is who these people are, and you might think they're always Judites, when in reality, you find out that these things, it should flip a switch in your head that the only thing really separating our people is language. Because before you found out they were that, you thought y'all had no differences.
Right.
Then you find out they're this, and it's like, oh, okay, you are different than me. No. They're the same as you. They're a different tribe. They're the same race as you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I think a lot of the times you gotta have to ignore that. You kind of gotta be like, I don't have no time for none of that.
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
Me growing up, if I make sure, growing up, my best friend was Haitian, and you know, I remember going to his house as a kid, and I remember hearing his mom speak patois and speak. I'm like, you know, what the hell are y'all? And then, like you said, what the hell are y'all? and then, you know, the different foods, you know, it was like, it was different, but it was good. Like, it was, listen, oh man, listen, legume. Oh,
but you're looking at it like,
what?
What is etouffee? You don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, but you know, shout out to IAT, you know what I mean? To all the brothers, all the Levite brothers, man, and sisters, man. Shout out to all the tribes, man. Listen, then, like you said, my first girlfriend, that first girl I ever got pregnant, was a Hispanic woman. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you grow up in the community, not knowing our people was right there. We are together, but we are separated by language barriers, and then the oppressor puts so many barriers that of course we're against each other.
Let's stick them here. Let's stick them here.
Right.
Stick them here.
Right.
So that they don't try to intermingle.
Right.
Because the worst thing possible for your oppressor is if we come together.
Right.
That's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Yarash,
please, so Yarash.
It's like, if I could, you know, it's funny how you say that, because growing up, I would truly try to separate myself from black people, because, you know, y'all know, if y'all don't know, I am Native American. I grew up knowing.
You know, here this Negro goes. He want to show his feathers.
That's right. Nah, but for real, I really did grow up like that. And
right.
So every time, you know, I'd be around, you know, my people, though, of course, I would always say, yeah, I'm Native American, though. Like, don't call me black. Like, don't include me.
Right.
But then, you know, of course, you know, Judites, they're like, nigga, use a nigga. You know, but it grew on me the older I got, especially when I came in the truth and realized, yeah, we're the same people. And it's a spirit. It'll force you to separate from our people, like, just to claim your own specific, you know, nation, whatever you got. Your tribe. It tries to, you know, it'll eventually separate yourself from your actual people.
We get like we feel good off of having that separation. I'm something special. I'm Native Indian. Y'all all black. I am this.
Right,
I'm this. Or we all Puerto Rican and you black. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you look for any type of separation, but that's really just because your soul, your spirit, you're searching for what you actually are. Because as a Puerto Rican, how far back can you trace your history?
Right.
You can only trace it as far back as to when they called you a rich boy.
Right, exactly.
And that's where it stops at. You can't even go beyond that. As a black person, you can trace it back correctly like that to the slave ships. Because as soon as you try to say, oh, we're African, it don't make sense if you go into history.
Right.
So as an African American, you trace your history back to 1500s, 1600s. And that's, like I said, that's there's thousands of years before that.
Right.
Where was you at before that?
Exactly.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Same thing with Native Indians, same thing with all the tribes. You can only trace it as far back as pretty much when the white man came in and enslaved you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when that's the person that tries to section you off in the neighborhood, you should, damn, we kind of act alike. We kind of talk alike. And then that's what our ISUPK come in, and it's just like, y'all the same.
Y'all old Negroes.
That's
y'all
should all be speaking Hebrew, but instead you got dialects of Spanish, and then you have Creole and French and Ebonics.
Right.
Should be speaking Hebrew.
Right. Go up.
So I just want to give big respect to the other tribes that came over here, because when I was growing up in middle school, we used to terrorize Haitians and Dominicans. And we used to just beat them up for fun, and they made their way. They fought back, and to the point y'all good.
Hey, Slack,
some respect to them tribes.
Right. Hey, Slack, if I may, you know what that is? That's like Officer Kawoga just said, you know what I mean? We're the best. And listen, Judites feel like we the best boxers, but so do Ephraimites.
Right.
Believe they're the best boxers.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, they coming. And they coming.
And
they coming. Listen, hold on. Issachar, they the best. He got some hard ass heads. Somebody in his car. No disrespect.
Y'all seen Isaac Cruz?
What?
Forehead like a widescreen.
So when, like what you saying, like, and because the oppressor is such a goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of, they put that in our mind to be against one another from preschool all the way up to separate us.
Right.
Not knowing, like, if and I say this to my ribs, I say this to my family, I say, if we knew the things we know that I'm learning now, the things that's being taught to me now as a child, could you imagine what we'll be when we're 30, 40?
Right.
Do you understand what our community would be like? Do you understand the vision that Commander General Yohana had back then?
Right.
So you gotta give, first of all, give it up for Commander General Yohana, man. Right? Because back when they was eating soups and stuff for Passover, look at where we came to now. You got brothers like Officer Kawoga, who's making great music like he is making. You have other Officer Dunyala. We have so many brothers that's making great music, and we have so many people. Look, we just celebrated the 54 Passover. You had the walks of all tribes come together, and listen, there was a lot of drinking. There was a lot of eating. There was a lot of going out. It was a lot of partying. No fights, no arguments, no problems. Just brotherhood.
That's right.
And it was glorious. Now, if we knew this as children, could you imagine where we'll be? Imagine 10 years from now, ISUPK. 20 years from now, ISUPK. Imagine what our children going to be like.
That's right.
Man, listen, it's glorious. Can I get that scripture before you go, Ayash? Just let me get this scripture. I need this scripture.
This is Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
Read.
Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
Who?
O nation, not desire.
Who?
O nation, not desire.
Right now, Native Americans is not desired. They out there on what do you call them? On them reservations and being disrespected right now on them reservations. Right. They have all types of alcoholism going on in their reservations. Gather yourselves together in the hood, in the ghettos, the Negroes, so-called Negroes. We're not wanted. We just brought out the scriptures about how they hunt our footsteps. The police disrespect us every time we walk out our doors. You don't even got to be a part of nothing. You can be a square person that just go to work, go to school, handle your business. And guess what? You get pulled over because you fit the description of a black man.
That's right.
You understand? Hispanic community, listen, they degrade them, call them spics, spit on them. The Haitians, they call them dirty. We got brothers and sisters on the borders right now in cages still.
Right.
We got our nieces, our nephews, because that's who they are to us.
That's
Our
right.
little cousins is on them borders in cages right now. Right now. It's disgusting. So gather ourselves together. Read that again from the top, Barbara Shaw.
Khan, sir. It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Gather yourselves together.
Go ahead.
Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
Please, sir, please.
So also, when you're doing that, right? So like the song is named "Cause I'm Black," but black is really like a description word for Israel.
Right,
It's not
right,
what your skin color is.
right,
You
right.
have from the lightest light of browns to the darkest dark of browns.
Come
Can be any race.
Mhm.
This is like it can be any tribe.
on.
Any tribe can be from the lightest light to the darkest brown.
Right,
You see what
sir.
I'm saying? So when it says "cause I'm black," it's really because I'm an Israelite.
That's right.
Come
You
on,
know what I'm
come.
saying? The things that are being described in that song is really because I'm an Israelite.
Right,
So
come
it's
on,
not- it's
come.
not
That's
because I'm a Judite. This is happening because I'm an Israelite.
Right. Come throughout us, sir. And that makes perfect sense, man. You're saying gathers together our people, man. Read the rest of that scripture, Barbara.
Khan, verse 2.
No, that was it. That was it. Hey, listen, what time we got? What we looking like on time?
We had 6:42.
6:42. All right, listen.
We could probably make it through. We can make it through.
Real quick.
Listen, gosh, go ahead.
Something online that went out recently from our Gadites, right? And they were saying, just call them native because they're not American. And we know, and they know who they are as far as they know they're Indians. So they say they would prefer just say natives. We already know. We know what you mean.
Oh, duly noted.
You know what I mean?
Duly
And
noted.
that came straight from the source, from our Gadite brothers and sisters. They said we're not Americans because we don't fit. We don't fit with America and what they stand for.
Right.
We represent our people. So we feel better if you just call us native.
Right.
We're native to this land, but we know who we are. We basically they said we Israel.
Right.
They were just saying it in their own way, even though they was in the world, but they were still fitting in the criteria of what platforms that Commander General Yohanan and other generals set forth.
What the Bible set forth.
And
Right.
what Christ did for us, because they also mentioned that. So they're on the right path. They just got to come into the truth.
Right. Like so many other brothers. Like I was watching something earlier today. Sluggy, if I may. I was watching something earlier today. A brother posted something online, and it was a so-called pastor, right? It was a pastor, and a sister called in to his show, I guess, and she was saying how she's an evangelist. Right, and she was saying how she's an evangelist, but the pastor, surprisingly, he broke it down. He said, okay, you're evangelist, you call yourself one who sent, and he said he took it to the women's scriptures. He said, what does this mean? A woman is not supposed to teach. Usurp their
usurp
authority over
the man.
Right? And he said, well, what
First
does that
Corinthians.
mean? And she said, she started stutter stepping and dancing around and questioning. And then he started bringing out other women scriptures and other women scriptures and other women scriptures. And I was like, well, God damn, he do know. He know he
is
and
watching.
that means he's watching us, sir. Yes, card on the card. He's definitely watching us because he was using our cuts. And he pulled the sword of one west, but he used it lightly. He didn't know how to use it properly, sir. But
he just was watching us and
using
trying
scriptures.
to mimic the words that was coming out of our mouth and mimic the things that we pulled.
Right.
That's really it.
Right. So look, listen, because what time we got? What's the exact time?
6:45. We
Probably
All right.
finish the hook. We gotta just finish the hook.
All right, listen, we gonna go back and verse. Listen, we gonna finish the hook, right? We gonna have to come back. Listen,
We don't want to run into Captain Tazariak's debate.
And please tune in live for the Kemet Killer.
again.
Turn loose again off the leash.
Hey man, listen.
About to destroy his
Man.
opposition.
Plug him at the end because I don't want to run into it.
Right. Come on.
I can't fight the cops in the house. Throwing blocks heavy on the block. While the crack tucked in the south. It's the help them.
So I go. Let me run that for the hook. Kind of ran into the.
Yeah, bring it back. So you got it.
Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. I can't fight the cops in the house. Throwing blocks heavy on the block. While the crack tucked in the south. It's the help them.
Go back.
I'm black, but she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Can't get no job because cops won't kill me because I'm black. Cops won't kill me because I'm black.
We did the end of the hook. That's why we don't have time to do the verse.
Right. So look, what we're gonna do is we don't have time to get into the verse. We're gonna make a part 2. Lord allow it. We get the Oscar Walker ball. You know, he's a busy man,
I'll be
doing a lot of work. His brother, listen, it took 2 finales to get him here. But now listen, Lord allow it. We get some free time from the brother, and he can come back and because we're gonna do it with or without him. We're gonna finish the song.
That's
Right? We're gonna do it. Y'all know bar breakdown. Y'all know how we do. So listen, we're gonna finish the song. Lord allow it. The brother has time to come back and give us some more wisdom, drop some more wisdom with this verse, and explain to us what made him write this verse, or what scriptures that inspired him to write those verses. But on the outro, listen, first of all, tune in, coming right at 7 o'clock. We got Captain Tazariak with a debate, the Kemet Killer, coming at y'all again, doing what he does best. Doing what he does best at all times. He gonna go and he gonna smite him.
We got a link. We got a link.
Do we have a link?
We got a link to put in the chat.
I believe we do have a link. Osa Paratazar, if you're still online with us, if you can share the link. Hey, shout out to Osa Paratazar. That's my brother,
That's
man.
right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Officer Kwak.
We got Officer
Shalaya Ali.
Officer Shalaya Ali in the building.
Yeah.
Hey, you ain't shout out, man. Listen. You know, you big brother almighty. I use that term loosely. Officer Shalaya Ali. Yeah, that's Officer Shalaya Ali. And my brother's keeper. Hey, now listen, man. If y'all got the link in the chat, please type it in the chat. So brothers can follow it. Follow Captain Tazarek, do what he do best, and that's slaughter and slay these Kemet brothers, man, that think they something other than what they really are. Tune into for that. Tune into Bar Breakdown next week. Tune into Jeremiah Hyman's Commanding General Johanna's Black Watch. Tune into Cross the Line, Let a Hebrew Speak.
Don't forget to also tune in to Let It Be Known tomorrow.
Man, Let It Be Known
and
tomorrow.
Also, stay tuned to Boots on the Ground.
Hey, listen, and Boots on the Ground is coming, man. Also, Yash, man, he got some stuff, man. Some of these is disturbing stories of what's going on in Israel, man. Tune into that. And then any other Hebrew Israelite shows, man, tune into it. You got something to say, go?
So I just want to say, make Kemet never rise again.
Ever.
That's
right,
right,
man. Right, man.
Just like they mummies.
Hey, but listen, we're going to play one song. We're going to play one song before we go. We're going to play this song on the go out. Oh, so Kawoga Ball is on the back end of this song, right? Fire. Now, you know, he always trying to outdo and outshine. He's a Judite at heart, you know. He can't help himself.
Wash people,
you know, he trying so-called wash. He trying to wash people. He can't help himself.
I know Christ washed brothers' feet.
Israel, tell us what you think about the song. You know, we'll play it more. Let us know. Maybe we'll break this down another time. But listen, without further ado, this is called Chronicles. This is a remix.
Yeah, if I could, it's 2.5, just 2.5. What I'm telling y'all said.
Here we go.
It's so profound.
Here we go.
So deep. Heavy. Powerful. Christ wash feet. So I mean, I just gotta wash brothers as well. Just like,
another inside joke. I like that.
Hey, yeah,
I like that.
I can't believe
There's
there's
a lot of smoke in that.
Hey, listen. Oh, hey, it's like if I may. He's the camp leader of New Jersey for a reason. He can listen.
And he knows the men that labor among him.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm doing it. You can't see us. Go ahead, play the song.
Yeah. Cool. Look. Riding solo for niggas I thought was
Turn it up.
really wasn't. They just needed me to drop more. Where they was going, shit hurt, left a scar, but fuck with a nigga good. Don't ask them where niggas at. I don't know, they ain't called. I ain't worried where I'm going. Everybody can't come. So I surround myself with energy. I do percent plus. I can cross by niggas I'm cool with. Call them bro. And shorty break up and now they trying to fuck my bro. Niggas wrong. Why is it? And you say they won't support what you doing. We the stranger, they support what you doing. This shit is crazy. In place, they ain't really got no drive. Shit sad, niggas time. They ain't really got no job. So I stay solo. Now I'm like, bro, my system, my realest nigga. Cause most of these niggas homo. With or without. Damn all I got. Fuck the past, pay the day. Shout out to Pops.
Yeah.
Nigga, picture me rolling. You know I got bread, pockets on swollen. Fuck them bitches in the hands that strolling. Keep it pushing, speeding at a dead end. Dead eating, etc. Thought niggas loved me, really wasn't my brethren. I switched lanes in an expedition. Getting knocked out, no exhibition. Give a fuck where you from. You can't front niggas, listen to pun. Snap a finger and I'm getting it done. I'm from Bayview. Not a prayer or a doctor to save you. Get sick from your throat to your name. You almost didn't make it. Still repent, cause a nigga forsaken. You ain't the target till you actually make it. That's when you see the growth. I ain't the killer, but don't push me. Revenge ain't sweet when you sitting doing 30. Show the love now, don't wait till I'm dead and gone. I'm a long nose, I'm a long John. You niggas long gone.
Israel's
No
covered.
word.
Yeah, Long John's bar.
Stand up,
Yeah.
fuck down. Know better, do better. The shot.
I switch faces, cause it ain't on soul. In and out of prison adolescence. My mom's missing, my heart hollow, dark thoughts, my eyes drop. I grip the pistol, finger itching, you get pop. I'm from a city where niggas die over ain't shit. Fuck bananas, I got niggas and they go ain't shit. 17 dead and gone, over jealousy. Ain't no honor amongst those beats. Niggas Judas, my presence ain't the skin that I'm in. I love my melanin. On my word, the pistol, my pistol making melanin missing. I put the face in the box like it was television. Better go play with your color. I ain't your kind, pussy. I put the chick in his 40 and drop, pussy. No pressure, get out of go better. Put them with the lemon on the barrel, no pepper. When the shots fired, the 40, you remember. As always,
That's
on
right.
ball.
Yeah.
Check him out, y'all. This how he do. This how he want. Come on.
I went my way to the bathroom, I could've bought some change. Instead I bought a grip, walked the nine with the hand. I'm in the hood, I was born and I'm still not the stain. Screaming 7 times, 7 homies in the rain. I know little brother, I'm sorry for she came. A nigga ain't able, nigga I ain't able. When I say good pocket, nigga, I won't bathe you. I'm going hard like I was paid. Bad bitch, ass thick bitch, I can't save you. Every block really black bitch, you gon' tame you. I call them the favor, I go nigga to the neighbors. Play too good, have niggas want creative. Lamb killing bitch, fucking get at it, nigga. 10 riding 9 packing sick ass nigga. Israelite, true like real ass nigga. Crackers want my life, no fear ass nigga. Hit the corner too much, kill that nigga. 5 stacks, get back, you don't bill that nigga. You can't kill me, they gon' feel that nigga. I got a son, if I die, still me, nigga.
Hey, yo, Israel, man. Listen, this ball breakdown in the green room.
That's right.
With a special co-host, Priest and Officer of 5,000 Kawoga Ball. Tune in to next week. Hey, listen, with that, we out of here, man. Shalom, Israel.